Demonslayer has given us amazing entertainment for the past 5 years, but nothing has come close to the entertainment we got from, ironically, the Entertainment District arc. Demonslayer Season 2 is not only my favorite Demonslayer season, but also one of my favorite shonen season ever. In this video, I'll talk about all the reasons why I think this whole season is a masterpiece. Tengen has got to be one of the most entertaining side character. Every scene he was in, he turns to gold. His flamboyant, boisterous personality is just perfectly made to entertain. Plus, he's also a very likable character, even though he has 3 wives, and all of them are dimes, by the way. Speaking of dimes, Tengen himself is a dime. This dude's design is incredible. The hair, the diamond and gold jewelry, which is cool, by the way. When he runs, you can hear his jewelry. The red eyes, the painted nails, the face paint, and his face in general.
Yo, get off that nigga dick, bro. What is you doing? That's what I'm saying, bro. You gotta calm down with that shit.
And finally, the best looking swords in Demon Slayer. This dude is just a drip god. Plus, he's tall as fuck and built like a tank.
Oh my god, bro. Is dick riding all you do?
No, I'm
like,
saying
you literally got that nigga dick in your mouth right now. I see it.
Tengen is the definition of aura. I don't blame all his 3 wives. Hell, if I was a woman, I would.
Bro, stop dick riding, bro. That's all you literally talk about. Damn.
Tengen's design isn't the only thing beautiful, as his fighting style is also a sight to behold. The way Tengen uses his firecrackers with his dual swords is amazing. Fun fact, Tengen is the only Demon Slayer character that actually generates his quote-unquote effects. You know how the effects on the breathing styles actually aren't real and they're there just for us viewers? Tengen's explosion are the exception. Tengen swings his sword so hard that it creates so much friction in the air, which in turn causes an explosion. He also creates explosion with his firecrackers. Tengen's ultimate technique, musical score, is also fire and very fitting to his character, as it is a very powerful technique, but that's if you survive long enough to read your opponent's movement and pull off musical score. And that's enough Tengen for now. Let's talk about other characters. Tanjiro was amazing this season. I can't describe how happy and proud I was to see Tanjiro learn from the Rengoku fight and try to not make the same mistakes he made in that fight. Being a spectator, not being able to do anything. So in this season, it was incredible to see Tanjiro trying his hardest not to be a nuisance and actually find a way to somehow, some way help Tengen. It was also a breath of fresh air to see a weak MC actually be useful in a big battle where the MC is severely outmatched, and that's all I want from a weak MC. I don't need you to have a power up so you could actually hang in the battle. All I need is for you to try and be useful in the battle. If it's being the defense for the more powerful character, then do that, even if it means you'll be the support. And Tanjiro did that, which I absolutely loved. And we even got Tanjiro turning Super Saiyan and absolutely demolishing Daki.
は伸ばせるのよ。そんな一瞬で切るわ。え？切られた？早っ。
Tanjiro isn't the only character that made improvements this season, as Zenitsu made huge improvements in this season as well. He went from being a bitch to protecting bitches. Okay, seriously though, it was really nice to see Zenitsu show some signs of courage in this season. Standing up for this girl, knowing that the one that's hurting her is a upper moon, is a big step for Zenitsu's character. Also glad that they came back to this scene later with Zenitsu sleepwalking and talking back to Daki. It's simple writing, but it's still good. Then to close out Zenitsu for this season, he gives us one of the best scene of the season.
Kaminari no kokyu, Jinokata, Isen, Shinsoku!
Inosuke is the funniest character this season. All his interactions with Tengen in Zenitsu this season were all gold. The King of the Mountains also played a huge part in this battle. Inosuke was the first to locate the food store. He beheaded Daki once, in which I don't think the trio would have even gotten close to Daki given Tanjiro's condition. So without Inosuke's keen senses and intuition making the belt seem like they're moving slower in his perspective, I don't believe they would have beheaded Daki in that moment. In the end, Inosuke still helped Zenitsu completely behead Daki. A lot of people said that Inosuke surviving Gyotaro's stab by moving his organs was an asshole, and I have to disagree, since they have set up Inosuke's flexibility since the first season, and even in this season when he dislocated both his shoulders to fit in a small hole and had the flexibility to actually move in said hole. In a world where you can stop internal bleeding by breathing, being able to move your organs temporarily isn't out of this world, especially with Inosuke's flexibility. One of the best reasons as to why this season was as good as it was are the demons involved. Upper 6 Daki and Gyotaro are the best demons we've had so far in Demonslayer, much better than Hantengu and Gyoko.
I'm like, what did he say fuck me for?
Daki and Gyotaro are both really well written characters. They have a lot of similarities with Tanjiro and Nezuko, and I love that Tanjiro acknowledged this when fighting Gyotaro, since it's true, if Tanjiro was home when Muzan attacked, the Kamado siblings would have been in the same situation as Daki and Gyotaro. Their backstory is really good and beautifully done, establishing a good reason as to why they became demons and a reason why Daki was weaker than Gyotaro, since she doesn't have a reason to be a demon, she just got dragged into it. That's why when talking to Zenitsu, Daki gave her quote-unquote reasons to why she's a demon, kind of like reassuring herself that she became a demon because she wanted to, even though deep down she didn't, and that's why in the in-between she's a normal human leaning towards the light, whereas Gyotaro was a demon in heading towards hell, since he actually had reasons to be a demon, which made him the stronger demon. Also love that in the in-between when Ume chooses to go with his brother, Gyotaro turns back into human as both of them heads to hell together. Also love that even though there's a lot of similarities between the Kamado siblings and Daki and Gyotaro, there's also a big difference, and that's their bond. Tanjiro was carried by Nezuko on her back when Tanjiro went to see Daki and Gyotaro, symbolizing that the Kamado siblings bond is deeper because there's no weakling between them. That brings us to the two biggest reasons why I adore this season, and these two are tied. First, it's gotta be the animation. Obviously, you can't make a Demon Slayer video without mentioning the animation, and the animation for this season is top notch. In fact, I would even go out of my way to say that this is the best and most consistent animation for a whole season I have ever seen. The things Ufotable did in this season was jaw-dropping. Typically, you would see this level of animation in a movie, not in a series. To have this level of animation and also be consistent is ridiculous. So shout out to all the artists that made this possible. The second thing tied with animation is the way this season captured emotion. What I mean by that is, if they wanted to make you laugh, you'll laugh. And if they want you to feel stressed, scared, worried, they did that. As soon as Gyotaro showed up, this season had me screaming, cheering at the top of my lungs. The perfect example of this is the episode Never Give Up. I don't think I'll ever feel the same feelings I got in this episode in a fiction. They captured the feeling of ominosity when Gyotaro was beating on Tanjiro, the feeling of direness and dreadfulness of the situation, the feeling of excitement when Tanjiro executed his plans. It's very rare for a shonen anime to make you actually feel scared for characters, and it's even rarer for shows, not just anime, but for shows to actually make you feel like you're in the show you're watching, feeling the same thing as the characters on screen, and this season perfectly captured that like a lightning in a bottle. Feeling the hopelessness of the situation as you try your damn hardest, pushing your body and mind to the limit, screaming at the top of your lungs. As finally, you overcome the adversity. That's all the reason why I think this season will etch itself in anime history as Demon Slayer continue to make and break records. This season will stand out as Demon Slayer's masterpiece. The question is, will it be their one and only perfect season, or will they be able to add more to their collection? We'll have to wait for the Infinity Castle arc for that. But do you think? Do you love season 2 as much as I did? And do you think Demon Slayer will top season 2 as their best season? Comment it all down below. And while you're down there, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And once again, it's just my phantom thoughts.